First of all, Mr. Pawan Verma, welcome to Goa. Nice to see you in Goa too. And you have must been moving around from Delhi, Bengal, and now to Goa. Uh, TMC is trying its luck in Goa. As far as few days for elections are left, there has been a huge buzz after TMC has entered in Goa. How do you see TMC's prospects?
TMC is a party which is here to stay in Goa. It is not a fly-by-night operator that has come for one election trying its luck, to use your word. It is a party committed to Goa and to Goans, and it is here for the long run. As they say in Hindi, lambe race ka ghoda hai. And ultimately its goal is to be in Goa with the Goans for Goa in order to bring about transformational change, which we believe Goa has so far lacked.
I think so. Before coming down to Goa, you must have studied about the elections, the political scenario of Goa. How do you see TMC's prospects in assembly elections?
I think the TMC has made a decisive impact. I'll tell you the reason why. You see, the people of Goa have been used as puppets by two parties, the BJP or the Congress. And they have come to believe over time that it is their ordained right, their monopoly, to have access to political power in Goa. And whenever in politics such a notion of monopoly comes, you will see governance suffers. They are there for power, but not to serve the people. What does TMC bring? TMC's impact is because they see in it a new party with a new vision committed to the people of Goa and going beyond the old politics. That's why I believe the entry of TMC, we have come late, I accept, but we are here for long.
You are here to stay.
We are here to stay. We may have come recently, but we have created the foundation not only for victory in this election, but certainly for electoral victory in the years to come, but more importantly, to contribute as a Goan party to Goa.
Can TMC be the front where people can look for an alternative against the ruling of whoever it has been in Goa?
Certainly, because you see, look at the TMC, look at the leader, Mamata Banerjee. I say to you personally, allow me, I have been a foreign service officer. During that career, I have served in Prime Minister's office. I was also press secretary to two presidents of India. I have stayed in Rashtrapati Bhavan. I have been a cabinet minister in Bihar. I have been a member of the Rajya Sabha. I was surprised when I went after joining TMC to meet Mamata Banerjee that it was difficult for me to find her home. She lives in 2.5 rooms. Her own home. In a narrow street. And she lives there with the simplicity of a grassroots politician. So it was for me also, I say, because I have been in the corridors of power. For me, it was a bit of a shock to see a chief minister living in these conditions in her own home and not moving to the chief ministerial palace. Now, why is that important in Goa? She is the leader of TMC. She is not here for naked political power or the perks of power or the privileges of power. She has worked in West Bengal, rising from the bottom. She has come up from the bottom. And she wants to build in Goa an edifice which would be the most suitable mansion for Goans and Goa. And she comes to Goa with a mission. You have seen her 3 schemes.
Why does Goa people feel and there have been propaganda saying that it's a Bengali party, anti-national.
You see, it is the propaganda and mischievous propaganda of the other parties which feel insecure in the dynamic challenge posed by TMC.
The fear of TMC.
TMC. Why? Narendra Modi is from Gujarat. Rahul Gandhi is from Delhi. I can say tomorrow, what is the BJP's role in Goa? Yes, they have tried for many years and also benefited from political power. But after Manohar Parrikar, they have had no leader. No leader. TMC in Tripura, Goa, and now we are going to become a pan-Indian party. Believe me, 2024 will be a Modi versus Mamata fight.
Direct fight.
Direct fight. TMC is moving from being essentially in the past a Bengal-centric party to a national party. We are changing our constitution. We may even, if required, change our name to become a national party. Goa, as history will be written, will be the historic first step we believed was something we needed to do in the journey to become a pan-Indian party with a pan-Indian footprint.
So you all like to ask Pawan Verma is that you have been in the news in the past few days, especially for one thing about this Congress TMC alliance issue. आपने तो नेशनल न्यूज़ चैनल पे भी बोला कि आपने बात की or something. Then there have been responses from Chidambaram side and everything. What is this all chaos?
Simple.
Who doesn't want it?
Simple. You see, the TMC has the ability, when required, to rise above narrow party politics towards a more desirable, larger goal. We felt that there is a need in not only Goa but in the country at large for greater opposition unity. If the opposition is fractured, divided, then the BJP has a free run. And we feel the BJP with its narrow, bigoted, exclusionist approach to India, the great unity of India, is bad for our country. So we are trying for greater opposition unity. I met Chidambaram personally. I am the national vice president by appointment. He's a good friend. By appointment on 24 December at 1:30 p.m. to discuss, as I wrote to him, an urgent and important proposal. I gave that proposal to him that TMC and Congress should set aside past differences and in the interests of larger opposition unity in Goa and beyond, we should come together.
Finally, दोनों कांग्रेस तो है.
We have both the Congress, and not only that, strategic flexibility is required to pursue a focused goal, which is to defeat the BJP.
किसने नाम बोला?
Chidambaram told me, it's interesting, I'll take a minute. Chidambaram ji said, this decision is beyond my level. I have to take it to my leadership. I said, fine. Next day he called me saying he had spoken to Rahul Gandhi.
Okay. He said it?
Yeah, on the phone. And Rahul Gandhi said, this matter needs to be discussed by the two principals of the party, Mamata Banerjee, Sonia Gandhi. Mamata Banerjee communicated to Sonia Gandhi. And Sonia Gandhi replied, saying that I need to consult my senior leadership before I give you a response. Essentially, I think because Rahul Gandhi had by that time left for abroad, she was waiting for his return. Now, after all this, if Mr. Chidambaram goes on public television and says that he never received a concrete proposal, I had to give a rebuttal, because why state an untruth in public? You got a proposal, you spoke to your leader, the two principals talk, and then you say I did not receive a concrete proposal.
Concrete or normal proposal में क्या है?
क्या है? So we did it because that's a quality of the TMC. We feel when there's a larger goal, don't be petty, don't be narrow, don't be small. Life is too short to be small. Look at bigger goals. The manner in which, for instance, the BJP has under and non-delivered to Goans. The corruption, the inefficiency, the ineffective governance, it needs to be countered. And we were looking for the best way to do it. It doesn't matter if it
Who
didn't
broke
work.
this best way then, you feel?
Huh?
Who broke this best way, you
The
feel?
Congress lives in silos. They believe that it is their ordained right to be the sole leader of the opposition, and that any alliance must be as you enter
Under him.
an emperor's court as a supplicant. ये नहीं चलता आज के जमाने में भाई आप
वो दिन गए
या तो आप अपना काम करते हैं as the largest opposition party. In the last 10 years, 2012 onwards, Congress has lost 90% of the elections it has fought against the BJP.
लीडर्स भी लूज चुके हैं.
अगर आप अपना काम नहीं कर रहे तो भाई कोई तरीका तो निकालना. We have to find some way. And in this case also, our biggest interest was the interest of the Goan. Because if by default the BJP wins, by dividing votes on account of religion, through bigotry, by taking advantage of the division of the opposition, we believe strongly it will be bad for Goa and the Goa.
So Congress has
Congress rejected the possibility of opposition unity to defeat the BJP in the interests of Goa and the Goan people. I am saying it on record.
So one more thing is that गोवा से अच्छी शुरुआत.
Goa is the beginning of our journey, and Goa will be a partner with us in this journey. Never forget, and this is one of the qualities of Mamata Banerjee, and through her, I am the national vice president of the party. Never forget those who were your founders, who were your pioneers, who were the cause of your beginnings. Goa is for us the beginning of the TMC's national journey, but Goa will always remain special for the TMC. And that is why Goa is a place where TMC is a Goan party. The TMC is a Goan party.
One side you will say TMC is a Goan party, we are here to stay. There are news which are coming here that your unit might be dissolved, sources say and all. What is your say on that?
So this is unfortunately, I don't like dirty politics, a straightforward attempt at false propaganda by parties that are, and I don't like to name political parties in vain, parties that feel that this is the last resort to weaken TMC. On the contrary, let me tell you, TMC stands firmly in Goa. It stands further strengthened, and it will move on a trajectory, I promise you, which will make it a permanent feature of Goan politics. There is no question of disbanding our entry into Goa. It will only move from strength to strength.
What you have to say that some people who had started TMC in Goa in the last few months have been sad, dejected, like Yatish Naik and all, who yesterday tendered his resignation. There were news that your Louis Infalero, as your Rajya Sabha MP, is not satisfied, not happy with the way he was given a ticket for Fatorda and all.
So somewhere around 600 small and big leaders have joined TMC since we came here but a few months ago. It is not a minor achievement.
Major achievement.
In my view, for a relatively new party, for so many leaders cutting across the political spectrum to see in TMC a ray of hope for the future of Goa, and final liberation from the stranglehold of only two political parties who do nothing for the Goans. It's an achievement. Now from there, 7, 8, 10, at the time especially of distribution of tickets, may have left the TMC or could be dissatisfied. But one of the qualities of TMC is that we try till the very end
To keep them with you.
to accommodate, to include. We are an inclusive party. We are an inclusive party. So we attempt to take everybody along. But you know that in political parties there will be a few people whose aspirations and ambitions are so individualistic that they may leave the party even or be disgruntled. But the vast majority of those who join are working on the ground.
So, in Goa, you must have got the scenario totally like what is the performance of TMC in these elections, how they are going on, because you all have an experienced team like IPAC and all. How much seats TMC can win in Goa out of 40?
I am not a
Strategist.
I am not a political professor. I have seen too many elections.
आपके साथ तो प्रशांत किशोर है.
I have seen too many elections. But let me say to you that the TMC's entry into Goa will be decisive, impactful, substantive, and lay the strongest foundation possible for the TMC's continued future in Goa.
So y'all are there in assembly, you mean to say? TMC will be there in Goa assembly.
We will be there in a very significant way.
कितना नंबर कुछ है?
देखिए,
आपको तो पता बोला होगा, but
You know Goan politics better than me.
Yeah.
Can you predict? There is a lot of mobility of candidates in Goa.
the TMC के आने से बहुत कुछ
So
changes हुए हैं सर.
all I can say is that our debut into Goa for the Goan people will be very decisive and substantive, and you will see that in the results.
Okay. You spoke about Pan India. Pan India के लिए 6% you talk about votes and all. 2024, like how you said, it's Mamata versus BJP. It is a possibility. Time है आपके पास.
Sir, time ही हमारे पास 2 साल है, and you will be surprised how many groundwork we have done in states where the TMC is not present. I'm not talking of only Goa, Tripura and Meghalaya. Across the mainstream states, we are working in an organized, planned, strategic, credible and grassrooted manner to become the principal opposition to the BJP, which along with its natural allies, you will ask me who are the allies? DMK, Jagan Reddy, possibly Naveen Patnaik. We, along with our allies, we are going to be in the forefront of 2024, and that is why I said 2024 is a Mamata versus Modi fight. This lady, incidentally, has the fire in her belly to take on Modi. You know how much money BJP spent in West Bengal, sir? Over 2,000 crores. Informal estimates. Mamata Banerjee not only defeated them in her third term anti-incumbency, but increased her vote share from 44% to 49% in West Bengal. She has the fire in her belly, the vision, the charisma, and the TMC will evolve, transform, change into a pan-Indian avatar. And Goa, remember sir, would have been the first step, the most important step, the launching step, the inaugural step for us in this journey.
So final question. इसमें सब में जो आपने बताया, whatever you have said, IPAC और प्रशांत किशोर का कितना महत्व है?
Sir, IPAC is a consulting agency. As you know, they have signed a contract for 5 years with the TMC. Prashant Kishore is consulted with IPAC sometimes consults with him. He played a critical role in the West Bengal Assembly election. So in that sense, he has a role.
Thank you. Thanks for your time and all the best, sir.
Thank you.